guys, welcome back to our channel. I'm Judy. So something pretty shocking happened recently in Hong Kong. There was this huge residential fire, the worst one the city has had in almost 50 years. It was really heartbreaking, and of course, everyone started arguing about why the flames spread so quickly. And then something unexpected grabbed all the attention. Not the building, not the rescue efforts, not even the fire itself. It was bamboo, 竹子 in Chinese. Yep, the bamboo scaffolding that covered the outside of the building because it was under maintenance. So now just so we are clear, the building itself wasn't made of the bamboo. It's a normal concrete high-rise, of course. The bamboo was only the temporary scaffolding on the outside. Right away, and some people were like, see, and this is why we should stop using bamboo. And others said, no way, the bamboo wasn't the problem. And suddenly this plant, something super traditional and deeply rooted in Chinese culture, became the center of the huge debate. Should Hong Kong move on from bamboo scaffolding? Does something so old school still make sense in a modern city full of skyscrapers? And does this tragedy mean the technique is outdated? Or was it just like a horrible accident that happened to involve bamboo? We obviously don't have all the answers, but there's something we can talk about today. Why bamboo is such a big deal in Chinese culture, and why something that looks simple, even a bit old-fashioned, has survived for thousands of years and is still shaping cities like Hong Kong today. So today I want to explore just one question. How did bamboo go from being just a plant to becoming one of the most long-lasting cultural symbols in China? First question, let's think about why bamboo? Why not like something else? Think about it, and back in the days, almost 7,000 years ago, our ancestors had tons of plants around, right? And why did bamboo stand out? I'm so curious. Then, after I did some research, I found out that two solid reasons. First, it was everywhere. Second, it could do everything. Way back then, the climate was warmer in China, and bamboo was all over the place, from Yellow River area down to the whole Yangtze River region. It was basically like the ancient version of a convenience store, and you could just go outside and get some. And imagine that you need the materials to build stuff. Wood, stone, metal, everything is hard to get at that time, but bamboo is everywhere. And also it grows so fast. It's basically the original renewable energy. Now let's look at his resume. It's really ridiculous. Hollow inside, which means super light. And segmented, it is really a very good built-in structure, easy to connect. Crazy flexible, which means bends but doesn't snap. The last one is really important because it's very cheap, like basically free. Okay, so of course ancient people were like, yeah, we got this is perfect. Houses, bamboo. Furniture, bamboo. Tools, baskets, bridges, bamboo. Even weapons, bamboo. And now you guys know it's very easy to get and ridiculously useful. That's how bamboo earned its place at the table. But next question, how did it level up from handy tool to spiritual icon in China? Being useful is one thing. If bamboo had just stayed a practical material, it would be like maybe some other material, right? And wood or rope, useful for sure, but they're not special. So to become a real cultural symbol, you need a bit of glow up. So bamboo's first big upgrade, guess when? This was about 2,000 to 2,500 years ago. You know, how in the West, maybe that's the era of Socrates and Plato in ancient Greece. Well, in China, that was when Chinese philosophy totally exploded. Confucius, Laozi, all the OG thinkers, they had ideas, tons of ideas. But how do you record them? If we record it on silk, too expensive. Stone tablets, too heavy. So bamboo steps in like, okay, hey, I got you. Then bamboo slips become the foundation of Chinese knowledge. Every idea, every classic text, every political theory was first written, stored, and transported on the bundles of bamboo. From this moment on, and bamboo was no longer just a material. It became the carrier of civilization itself, a media that connected ideas, history, and memory. So basically, it went from handyman material to philosophy carrier. It's a pretty huge upgrade, right? It's like if Western philosophy were all written on the oak blankets, and you'd start seeing oak differently, right? That's what happened in China. But the true glow up came a bit later, during the chaotic period, like 1,700 years ago. In Chinese history, life at that time was so stressful, society was unstable, and many scholars searched for purity, calmness, and a moral ideal beyond politics. They were looking for a role model. That is a symbol of a kind of person they wanted to be. Like they wanted to be the person who is very honest, humble, strong inside, calm in chaos. And then they look at bamboo and went, wait, the plant is literally us. So think about it. Straight on the outside, integrity. Hollow inside, humble, open-minded, and doesn't die in winter. Okay, which means a strong character, and bends in storms but doesn't break. So, which means bamboo represents the meaning of resilience. So bamboo became a metaphor for the ideal itself. Poets wrote about it, and artists penned it, philosophers praised it. So it became not just a plant, but a personality, a vibe, a moral compass. In the West, you might say, okay, you have to be strong, be like a lion, or as strong as an oak, right? But in Chinese, the phrase is be like bamboo. Okay, and which means you have to be straight, humble, flexible, unbreakable. By this point, bamboo had basically finished this whole glow up. It went from something you use to something you think with, to something people saw as moral role model. So now let's go back to the big question we started with. Why on earth is Hong Kong still using bamboo scaffolding in the 21st century? Well, the answer is actually kind of similar to bamboo's whole culture journey. First, it started with pure practicality. Bamboo is cheap, strong, light, flexible, and honestly perfect for the crazy shapes of Hong Kong buildings. So in the beginning, it wasn't about tradition at all. It was just the smartest option around. Then something interesting happened. It turned into a shared craft. Generations of scaffold masters learned it, taught it, and built a whole profession, even a whole identity around it. It became a skill people were proud of. And over time, it accidentally became part of Hong Kong's cultural DNA. And you see bamboo on a skyscraper, and the locals don't think primitive. They think, yeah, that's us. So after the fire, when people started arguing about bamboo, they weren't just arguing about safety modes or construction methods. They were wrestling with something way deeper. They were debating a piece of the city's identity, whether bamboo scaffolding actually played a role in this tragedy. That's for engineers or officials to figure out. But one thing is super clear. When the tradition is this old, this skilled, and this emotionally loaded, challenging it is not just a technical question, it's a cultural one. And that's why the whole debates feel so intense. So now that you know bamboo is not just about a plant, right? It's been a tool, a notebook, a symbol, a personality, and honestly, a piece of who we are. Okay, now let me throw the question back to you. And if you lived in Hong Kong, what would you do? Would you keep bamboo scaffolding because it's part of culture? Or would you switch everything to modern steel for safety? There's no right answer here. I generally want to know, what do you think? So tell me in the comments, which side does your instinct lean toward and why? Because this is one of those topics where the more you learn, the less black and white it gets. Okay, so that is for today. Hope you guys enjoy it. Don't forget to subscribe and leave comments. We would like to hear all your comments. Okay, I will see you guys in my next video. Bye bye.